It's always a shame when a lottery pick never enters into the NBA. Whether it be through tragedy or simply not wanting to leave their country, there have been quite a few lottery picks who, despite achieving the dream, never go on to a long career in the NBA. Not to mention the long list of busts who never make it to a second contract. For second-year center Jalen Smith, it seemed as he was about to undergo this same fate. Jalen Smith was selected with the 10th pick of the 2020 NBA draft. Even for this draft class, picking Smith was seen as a reach, especially for a Phoenix Suns team who had taken a center only a few years earlier. Now, while many did not see this as a good pick, it did not mean that Smith was not a quality prospect. In his second year at Maryland, Smith averaged 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. While that, he also put up a 3-pointer per game, averaging 36% from 3. Scouts also noted that he had some touch and the ability to finish down low. Now, this doesn't mean he is perfect. He stood around 6'10" but only weighed 200 pounds. This could be a huge weakness to his game, preventing him from absorbing contact down low. Smith's rookie year was forgettable. While the Suns rose to one of the best teams in the league, Smith missed majority of the season due to a sprained ankle and a COVID infection. He played in only 27 games, starting once. With DeAndre Ayton appearing to rise and the Suns bringing in JaVale McGee in the offseason, the Suns already had appeared to start moving on from Smith. However, Jalen had an incredibly important offseason. During the summer league, something the league didn't have his rookie year due to the pandemic, Smith was one of the best players, averaging 16 points and 12 rebounds. He was also named to the Summer League All-NBA team. While he did have a strong Summer League outing, once again, he rarely saw regular season action. But that was until the end of December, until the Suns starting center DeAndre Ayton entered into league health and safety protocols, meaning it was time for JaVale McGee and Sticks to take over. McGee started the first few games while Ayton was out. However, Jalen put in more minutes off the bench. In the first game without DeAndre Ayton, Smith put up 15 points and 9 rebounds, an average game for most centers, but for Jalen, this was the best game of his career. After that, he put up 11 points, 14 rebounds, and then, on the 31st of December against the Boston Celtics, he made his very first start of the year. And only at the second start of his career, he put up 19 points and 7 boards. To show it's not a fluke, the next game he once again put up 19 points with 12 boards. Smith was producing, and he was producing at an incredibly efficient level. Smith would go on to start another 2 games. In his 4-game stretch as a starter, Jalen Smith averaged 17 points, 10 rebounds, with a block and 58% field goal percentage. For reference, DeAndre Ayton, the Suns starting center, who does have a much bigger sample size, he averages 17 and 11 on a 62% field goal percentage. In this 6-game stretch where he saw consistent time on the court, Smith was basically playing on the level of DeAndre Ayton. While these stats do put him as one of the better centers in the NBA, I don't believe that they do him justice. I'm taking a look at a few clips from the Clippers-Suns game, where Smith had one of the best games of his career, and I'm hoping the eye test can prove as to why he is so valuable and show off some of the potential he has. So let's get into it. Alright, to start off the game, I really like Smith's shooting the 3-ball here. He hasn't been amazing in his career, shooting only around 25%, however I do think he has a ton of potential from outside the arc. One thing I already mentioned is that he was a 36% 3-point shooter in college. But the other reason is he is currently an 81% shooter from the free throw line in the NBA. Typically, free throws are a good mark on whether a player will become a good shooter, as they are typically due to fundamentals. Smith having the confidence to shoot the ball combined with solid fundamentals at the line makes me think that he will be one of the better 3-point shooting centers as long as he can get more consistent playing time. This step back jump shot also shows the same thing, especially with the confidence he has, where he has no issues taking one dribble and pulling up. Another thing that he does incredibly well is his rebounding and positioning down low. First, here off the miss, he goes up for the layup with 3 defenders and he is able to tip it to Devin Booker. He then sinks back down low, distracting the D, which allows Cameron Johnson to cut through the offense for the 3. Right here is a super athletic play on the fast break. Once again, does a good job at rebounding, putting himself in position where he basically makes a putback dunk look more like an alley-oop. On this putback, he also does an excellent job staying in position, keeping himself between his man and the hoop, and easily is able to scoop in the rebound. Right here, he goes to set a screen for Chris Paul, sinks down low, and this is him just battling with Serge Ibaka. He has no issues rebounding the ball and shows excellent touch putting it back in. And while his putbacks and rebounding were a strong part of this game, another big aspect we saw in Smith was his finishing during the pick and roll. He does a good job setting a high screen for Paul, but is quickly able to get down low and shows a super athletic finish. And then this play right here is maybe more credit for Chris Paul, but just look how quickly Smith is able to get from the 3-point line to the rim. Basically, it only takes him 2 steps to travel that much distance. So he did a good job rebounding, and I was pretty impressed with how he was finishing down low. But that's something that just about every single center in the NBA should be able to do. The thing that I think I was most impressed were some of the passes he was making in this game. While battling down low, right here we see a good 2-man action between Bridges and Smith. And while he is trying to back his man down, he's also able to find Bridges who can finish off the floater. But an even more impressive play is going to be this action right here. Opening up the second half, the Clippers came out in a 2-3 zone. Typically, the way in beating a zone is being able to penetrate into the paint and making the correct pass or cut, finding the hole in the zone. But on this play, Smith puts himself in perfect position at the free throw line. Rather than trying to drive it or take an awkward shot, he keeps both of his eyes and the ball up. He quickly sends it over to Bridges in the corner. It just happens to be that Terrence Mann made an excellent rotation from the other side of the court to contest the shot. Regardless, I absolutely love this find by Smith. This play kind of shows off some of his athleticism and just how quickly he can reach anywhere. On this Clippers fast break, he sinks down low to defend the bucket, but then it only takes him 2 steps to quickly get out and contest the Serge Ibaka shot on the perimeter. Now I know these were only a few plays, but there were some plays that were a crucial difference in the game and really showed off some of the strengths of Jalen Smith. Stats wise, he has shown to have the potential of one of the best guys in the league, and I think the eye test from this game backs it up as well. He has the confidence to shoot, touch around the rim, can rebound against anyone, and has the length and athleticism on defense, even showing some promise in passing the ball. Now Smith is far from perfect. In fact, I would say he is still one of the more raw prospects in the league. Even right now, he still only stands around 215 pounds, which is incredibly skinny for a center. His 3-point game shows some potential, but he is yet to pan out, and finally, he just lacks NBA experience. However, Jalen is in a more unique position for a recent lottery pick. NBA rookie contracts are for 2 years, with teams having the option to pick up their 3rd and 4th year options before entering into free agency. Earlier this season, the Suns decided to decline that option, something incredibly rare as once again he is only 20 years old. While this is surprising, there is some sense in it. Not that I agree with it, but one take I did see is that Smith's option would be set to pay around $4.5 million, around 9th most on the roster. There is an argument to be made that Smith is not the 9th best player on the option, and hence that this would be an overpay. For reference, Cameron Johnson makes the same amount, but he also appears to be breaking out, and Cameron Payne, who also makes a similar amount, is one of the best backup guards in the league. I can't say I agree, and for only $4.5 million, I think you're also partially paying for the potential of Smith, but this is one line of reasoning as to why Phoenix may not have picked up that option. And while it may be tough not seeing him rejoin Phoenix the next season, he could be a free agency steal. How many 20-year-olds enter into unrestricted free agency while showing this much potential? Imagine a team like the Thunder, who I had just talked about in the previous video. They have enough to throw him maybe a $15 million contract for 2 years. They can give him valuable NBA minutes, allow him to grow, and it's just a team that doesn't need to win right now. The Suns have DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee, and now Bismack Biyombo. For a competing team like them, there just isn't any room for them to play a raw prospect like Jalen Smith. For rebuilding teams, Smith is someone that they can get without having to break the bank, but could potentially be in their long-term rebuild plans. He's a high reward with a low risk. For Jalen himself, he can go out there and he can get more money, a larger role on a team that could give him more minutes. So in all honesty, it makes sense for the Suns to not sign him, as he really just won't be getting much playing time even in the next season. For Smith's career, I think he can get more money and a larger role. For a rebuilding team who signs him, they can get someone who can be a part of their long-term deals and someone that they don't have to pay a huge contract on. Like I said, this guy is only 20 years old. The chances of seeing a lottery pick enter into free agency as 20 years old is incredibly rare. So I think we're definitely going to see an up-and-coming team snatch him up, and I think it's going to be something that the Phoenix Suns end up regretting years from now. Alright guys, that's it for this one. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe to stay up to date with future videos. That's it for this one, and I'll catch you guys later.